other than writing a script and trying to like plan this out, I still want to say this is probably the most important fucking topic, or at least in as much as my life, this one has impacted my life a lot. And it's fucked up, but the reality of it being a thing is fucking needing discussed because, you know, we'll search certain things up. Oops, I hate when it does that. We like to search certain topics, and this one I did find. I found it in my personal life happening to me, and I wasn't going to go along with it. I wasn't going to fucking go along with it. Like that. I'm not going to go along with that. Although that looks alien as fucking weird. What? Is it because I look down? I don't know what I'm doing. But I want to talk about it, and I want to discuss it. And frankly, I even want to send this video to my ex, because the other day when I was having this experience, I was having this in my back twisting fucking kundalini raising shit, and I had all this clarity, and I could see things for what they were. And I know I've made my own mistakes. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I really felt like there was a frog jumping like between me and her, where she helped me in one area just by reappearing, you know, and validating that before we were even born on the earth, that we had some sort of contract, and that my being here with my dad was one of those, because I think he was stuck here. I don't know why. I don't have all the answers, but I really felt like it was a major big deal, and that she helped me with him. And I also think that her giving a shit about him, although I can bitch and say all the things that you don't do or whatever, I think she was genuinely honest about caring about him. And it's because when you experience somebody that genuinely is being honest about something, and then they can do nothing about it, when you have that experience and you see that somebody just isn't able to connect in a certain way, you're gonna fucking look at it. You're gonna wonder what the fuck, and if there's something causing that, or if there's something wrong. When you're inside of that, you can't see it or do anything about it like you can when you're outside of it. When you're outside of something, then you can maybe do something about it, at least objectively. You know, I like that cat face. Why don't you just have your normal face? Because I don't want to have my normal face on today. I don't. Like I said, ultimately, I want to share with her the video so that she can maybe see it. Because if not, I don't think she's ever going to have the freedom that she should have. And she doesn't. She doesn't. And I'll tell you why. What it is. It's MK Ultra. Now, that family has got some sort of relationship to the military that qualifies. It's not above and beyond. You know, if it was just a normal person, you know, you might could suspect or be like, oh, you're just saying that because something happened, you didn't like it. In that case, you could go there. But in this case, there is a military connection. There's weird shit already that checks the box. Now, and I think the person actually liked or loved me to some degree, but they didn't have the freedom to go into that you're supposed to have in a marriage. And because I didn't ever have somebody that was able to do that, I don't feel like I was even married. I feel like in a spiritual way, I could have an annulment because my partner wasn't free. My partner didn't ever have any of the ideas or the concepts that I had that opened me to them. And I really wasn't like a cheater, you know? She got me off into this shit with her girlfriend early on in the relationship, and that's part of the MK Ultra too. You know, they're always trying to give you something more than just their self, because they're never able to give you just their self. So it's like they make you want like to have a three-way with their girlfriend. They plant your mind with all these ideas. And I'm if I wasn't young and stupid and just a horny man, I wouldn't have bought into any of that shit. Because now I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about that. And I know the type of person I am. I'm not really into fucking cheating on somebody or wanting anything to do with anybody that's fucking around on me. And that person told me that their sex life was none of my business. My sex life is none of your business. I'm your fucking husband. How is that? What does that mean? What is marriage? When you get married, you're supposed to be each one. You're supposed to have a partner that's yours. I was supposed to be hers, and I was. She was supposed to be mine, and she wasn't. She wasn't. Because with the programming, they're doing crazy shit. You got Naomi programming, where the girl sleepwalks in the nighttime and goes to different rooms of different people and has sex with them and shit like that. She had that. She had that early on. And the shit that happened early on that I experienced, I've not had anyone else that fucked up with MK Ultra. But you know what? Almost everybody that I know suffers in some sort of way from MK Ultra. That's very fucking common. Very fucking common. And they don't have. You get programmed to do certain things. And they've done it to my age group and a little bit younger. A lot of times, I think it was done at the dentist. And have found corroborating evidence that that's one of the places that they do that. I don't know if they're doing it with tones. I don't know if they're doing something whenever they put you under. But there's been a lot of cases where they have found that these types of professions are in alignment, like the psychologists are in alignment. Anytime they've gone to see a psychologist, it's not been for therapy. It's been for programming. And they can basically do it electronically now. It's not like you have to go anywhere or whatever. But you're traumatized and fragmented. So you have different personalities. And your core personality is not unified. And that's the place you're supposed to be free from. That's the girl that I know, my soul knows that she wouldn't put up with that shit. And that if her life contract was to go through and have this experience, it would be important for me to just shine a light on it to her. Because the biggest thing, when you're dealing with somebody that has the MK Ultra and you genuinely care about them and you want them to be okay, is that they don't feel like... She used to say something, and they taught her this. This is part of it. That she was an unfortunate. So, like, she wasn't going to make it. That her dad had killed her mom. And that, you know, since her aunt adopted her and all that shit, you know, basically she wasn't guaranteed anything, you know, and probably wasn't going to make it. You're an unfortunate, or whatever that means. You know, that's a program right there. That's a program to make you feel like you're less than you are. And it's not true. That's not true. So what? She had some horrible fucking shit happen to her in her life. So what? That doesn't make her less than. I don't believe that. There's horrible shit that happened to all kinds of people, but I'm not fucking... My point is to try to put the value to the person right now, because the person is valuable. Their self-worth is important to me. I don't need them to do anything. I don't have to have that person like they're a possession in my life. I want them to be okay. That's the mother of my kids. Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying? You know, will she... Well, I don't know. I don't know. But the other day, when I was having this Kundalini raising experience, this is one of the things that mostly took up my mind, of my thought, was in my mind trying to figure out how to share this with her. And I don't think that she knows about it. I don't know what she's into. And I didn't learn about it until after we weren't together. You know, I learned about it some period of time in there, but I didn't take it as seriously as I found it to be. You know, the dark side, whatever it is, if it's the deep state, you know, whatever, you know, some people are like, oh, what's that? Right now, I'm dealing with a girl that's got it. She's got it too. She doesn't give a shit about nothing. She's not interested in anything. And it's like all those libtards that you can't even discuss with them anything, because they don't believe that there's actually somebody that's doing fucking the damage. You know, they don't think that there is an objective enemy doing shit, and there is. I don't always know who it is. Are there people trafficking children? Abso-fucking-lutely there are. Do I know who the top and who's leading that? No, I do not, because I'm not in it and I don't know. But it happens. And if you turn your fucking eye and look away and say, no, that's not real, it's because you don't want it to be real. If that's real, that means you've got to do something. The first thing you got to do is look at it. And if you look at it, then you're able to find out what the answers are. But if you say, oh, that's too crazy, that's not real, and you turn your gaze away, it's because you're acknowledging how horrible it is, how fucked up it is. And in this world where fucked up shit like that happens, where people are fucking abused, fucking traumatized, trafficked, sold, eaten, tortured, in a world like that, when things like that are going on, and they are, it is easier to just look away and say, that's not real. Everything's honky-dory. It's not, though. It's not. Those things are going on. And the only way, like they say, the only, evil only prevails when good men fail to act. So making the awareness level raised. I'm not pointing my finger at any group. Don't get it twisted. I'm not fucking Republican versus Democrat here. But I'm telling you, there's something fucked up going on in this world in a lot of cases, and people are failing to respond because it's too horrifying for them to realize this is going on. Our dumbass government brought the Nazis over because they wanted their scientists to help them go to the moon and do all that shit. And our government during this time and since then has been infiltrated with Nazi-style ideology, agendas, and shit like that. So when you see these tyrannical moves that are being taken by the government, telling everybody they have to do this, and it doesn't matter what your fucking body choice is. When you see stuff like that, it's not American. That's communist style shit, and that's fascist style shit. So when you anti-fascist types really want to look at the fascism going on in the goddamn right now. The way that they're doing shit and they're pushing towards going that way is fascism. You want to talk about Nazis and them being racist, that's one issue. That's racial, that's white superiority. But it styled its government in fascism, which is totalitarian. It doesn't matter if you do it with trans people, black people, whoever does it, it would be fascism. America is a constitutional fucking republic. It is not a democracy. It is not just a fucking... You can't just vote for any damn thing that you want. We have representatives, and we have a representative style constitutional republic, but it's failing and it's getting weak. But one of the things imported over here was the mind control. And the mind control is really fucking sophisticated. And it allows for the dark agendas to take place because they cause a response by the people affected is to not pay attention or not be able to look at the thing that's the problem. The mind control will have you dismiss and ignore or assume something else and not look at the problem. If a mind control MK Ultra slave is deprogrammed, they have a program that will cause them to commit suicide. When they get to a certain age, and this happened with a lot of the girls in the family of my ex, they're out of there by about 29. They call it riding the freedom train, and you're going to die. And usually they'll end up killing themselves. Somebody kills them or something happens. Like clockwork. And I remember my ex being terrified when she was the age that her mom died. Now the other day when I was having this experience and trying to figure out how I could share, and I don't know, but I'm still gonna try to send it and like share the message because it's not coming from a place of hate. I'm not judging. I'm not like saying, oh, this happened to me and it ruined my marriage. No, it was an experience that I needed to be who I need to be and am. But as far as a relationship and a marriage, I don't feel like I got that. Because I didn't have somebody that was ever able to fucking really bond with me. And I've had to go through a lot of weird shit of difficulty in the bonding that I had with them. You know, I had night terrors. I've had them. I don't know what's the reason. Something's happened to me in a dream and I may be kicking or flailing around and not yet awake. And I think we were at her parents' house and maybe I fucking was hitting her. It wasn't like I was beating her up while asleep, but I might have hit her or done whatever. So they wake me up. The parents come in there and they ask her, do you want us to call the cops? Like I'm just beating her or something. And I was asleep, having night terrors. She always had a plan B, and it was issued to him by then. And she always would start a fight, get hurt. I don't know how many times she got me in trouble for something while I'm the husband, the breadwinner. If you fuck the breadwinner of your family where he can't go to work and he goes to prison, how are you going to have a family? How are you going to have your shit taken care of? And if you don't stop fucking putting your hands on a man and then you get hurt and he goes to jail because you call the cops, how is that not the mind control? Because it is. They always had a plan for her before we even got together. They had a plan for her, and she was going to experience this trauma, if not from me, from someone else. And one of these girls that was in this group said, it's the honey badger program. We're supposed to get with guys, we have children with them, and then we ruin the guy, and we take the kids. These are the elite's kids now. And she was about that life. She was pro that shit, like the rest of them are. They're just not able to realize it. That they're on that team. They think they're free, and they're not free because they don't recognize that there's programming going on. And that they have deeper sets of beliefs and connections to traumas that are put in there by something that's doing it. Mind control doesn't just happen like that. MK Ultra doesn't just happen. It's done to you. And you don't just deprogram on your own. You have to do that. It has to happen or you're not going to be deprogrammed. I've watched this person eyes change, go into a different personality, and those personalities, those other ones, they don't know me. You can have an altered personality that's got a fucking addiction, is allergic to like peanuts, and if they eat peanuts, they'll swell the fuck up. In the same vein, or whatever, this person's altered personalities that would execute whatever programs it was supposed to be executing didn't know me. I wouldn't go along with it. I wasn't going to be in a relationship where someone was going to be free to just have sex with other people because they were going to tell me it wasn't my business. I wasn't going to go along with any of that. And since I wouldn't go along with my programming to be a handler and just do it, I got cast out. And am alive. Now the other girl that we tried to help, we saved her life. And when I went down there, I was going to take some of her stuff. And no, I didn't sleep with the girl. I'm not fucking with the girl. And I've had plenty of really good relationships and friends and other women that I've not had some fucking relationship with. Now in this person's case, I don't believe they can be friends with a man without fucking them. And that came from them. They're the one that said that and proved it, not me. I've had plenty of females that I'm friends with. And I don't have to be not friends with them. I don't have to do that. And even if I wanted to, if I was in a relationship, I'm not going to do it. I've got some sort of control over myself, and I know what I can and can't do and won't. I know what's right and wrong. But I experienced a hell of a lot of wrong because someone wasn't free to connect with me. They never had the freedom to do that. They never did. They never did. They were always waiting for something to happen. The program always had them expecting something to happen, starting with whatever happened to their mom. And when I had this experience the other day, and I had this clarity happening when this thing was twisting up my spine, when the Kundalini was raising a little bit more, and I just suddenly knew a bunch of shit, you know what I saw? I saw the timelines that where her mom didn't get killed. I saw 3 of them. Every single one of them, they hated each other. Her mom was a drunk. Her life was hell. And that she's on a better timeline with her mom dead. I don't want to say that, but I saw it. I didn't ask to see that. I saw it. I don't know why other people have the place in the life, the plans before life that they do, but sometimes they do. And I don't know too much beyond there can be contracts in your life that are made with entities, lower beings, but the contracts we make to each other as people that incarnate, souls that incarnate on the earth, they can be upheld and they can be true. And I'm saying this, and I'm gonna share it because I want her to know that if she doesn't take it seriously and she has a marriage, if she's not just going through the roles and it's not just another handler that they put her with, which is likely, they'll cut for that. But if she wants to be free, to love, to live, to be a fucking genuine soul, she would take it seriously and just look at what is this stuff? Is it affected my life? Is it something that they've done to me? Because then she could find out. Because it's not for me to deprogram you. That's not my fucking job. I've got to deprogram me, and I've got to do it daily. I don't always, nobody's done. Human beings run programs. Your routines, your traditions, these are programs. For this wetware we've got, that's our fucking body. And hardware, the hardware is your physical body, but your mind, your mental programming is your wetware. I want her to be free. I care about her. And I genuinely think she's a part of my soul. That we have come down here experiencing 3D because we had got the call. But whereas I've got like the internal part and I've got to go in to myself and have these experiences that cause this raising awareness, moving up towards enlightenment of periodic Kundalini raising, that I don't have to think about things, that I begin to have the knowledge by accessing the knowledge. And I know. This is one of the things I'm accessed, that I know that this is going on. Do I know how to prove it? No. No, I don't. I don't know how to prove it. But I have to make the case and share that truth. And I'm not doing it out of hatred. I'm not doing it out of spite. I want the person to be free. I want the person to be free. My other lady friend has it too. And the relationship she's in are shit. And if you treat her like normal, like you would treat a man was supposed to treat a woman, she can't respond to that in the right way. Because she's a fucking program slave. And whoever she's with or whatever, they use her like a tool. That's what they called them, tools. One of my friends that's now dead because he can't stop fucking with people the wrong way. And I told him, I was like, you're going to have a heart attack and die. Had a heart attack and died. And he was on the dark side with this shit. And he participated and was happy to call them tools and say that's what they were. But he couldn't ever put it down and not use the tools to do dark shit, fucked up shit, for whatever the fuck it is that they think they're doing. Evil does exist. And evil is a choice that you can make. And when you treat people like tools and things, then that's what you're doing. Because people are not tools and things. We are all part of each other, and we all are each other. And that's more true than any other thing. That's more true than any other thing. And I'd like that person to be free, not to have to be so upset about how they done it, and just be able to be a normal human and a friend. My stepdad and my dad were friends. They had respect. My stepdad came when my mom was dead. He came here and he helped me bury my dad. He didn't fucking be an asshole. They didn't have any animosity. They really liked each other and respected one another. That's the type of relationships people can have. I don't have to be the bad guy if I'm not the bad guy. I didn't do always the right shit in respect to her. But they had a role where they wanted me to be the bad guy, and they wanted me to do this thing to her where I hurt her. But that hurt me. I didn't want to get into any fight with her and beat her up or whatever. I didn't consciously choose to fuck this person up. I'm going to fuck them up. But it got chosen. It got chosen. I didn't have any defense against it. And yeah, you can put your hands on me. I'm probably going to fuck you up. Even today. If a woman comes and punches me in my face, I'm likely to knock the fuck out of that bitch back. That's my response. I don't just beat up women. If a bitch hits me, I'm gonna hit the bitch back. Cause what did you do? You hit a fucking man? When you go and hit a man, we have natural defenses. Once you get in somebody's personal space bubble and you violate it with violence because you're betraying the love trust that they have for you, that's what's going on. That program is taking that love and that trust that's let you get close to them, and you're violating it because you're going into their space, that personal space that we're all supposed to have in respect of one another's, and bringing violence. because your indoor was intimacy. That's MK Ultra. That's part of it too. Because most people can't do that. Most people, they get mad and they yell, but they don't do that. This person did that. This person not one single time tried to get a handle on themselves and not fucking put their hands on me. Not at all. They didn't care. They weren't gonna care because it wasn't in the program to be able to. They didn't have the ability to recognize that that was necessary. MK Ultra. And I see this in a lot of people. Usually it's females that have something fucking in their past that really is a fucking trauma or a damage. More trauma, more MK Ultra. Am I lying about? I'm not lying about. I'm telling you the truth. And if we don't recognize that there's an element in society that is putting this shit forward and we're experiencing it, they brought the MK Ultra from Germany, from the Nazis. They brought the Nazis, Dr. Green, Mengele, they brought the ones that did it. They kept doing it here, and it kept going on. They had the church hearings in the 70s about it, but they didn't stop doing it. It's a big part of how they get their numbers. Like the girl said, these are the elite's kids now. So yeah. So while I have my firstborn not even going to talk to me, and I love him, and I just have to wait, and I can't get any help from her because MK Ultra program says, oh, you better be friends with your kids and not a parent. I'll be the cool mom. I'll be the cool mom. Because she didn't have what it fucking took to fucking be the disciplinarian. Didn't want them not to feel happy thoughts about her. MK Ultra. She'd have known. She would have kept her word. She wouldn't even have disappeared and then not put the damn kids on the phone periodically and made them talk to their dad so that they would have done it and would have been having a path open. I would be talking to them both with more ability to be a dad and to give them something that they need to know. But I woke up, I started waking up to the bullshit early on, and I'm not about that life. I believe in God, good things, and fighting evil wherever you find it. And the first way to fight evil is call that motherfucking shit out when you see it. And slavery of the mind is evil. And that's what MK Ultra is. It takes those traumas and it makes them useful to someone who can deliver triggers and can get you to respond in kind the way that they need to. And in a way she has. Because she's handed our children over on a silver platter to the system to do the same thing to them, and she didn't want to do that. She tried to get them not to play the video games, and she tried to buck it, and she couldn't do it. She couldn't stop it. She saw it, she pointed it out and saw it, but she wouldn't see it in herself. And the level that she saw it was so superficial that she didn't take it serious enough to think that it affected our relationship. And it did. Because that person would fucking love the shit out of this guy right here who loves the fuck out of them. But they can't do it. They're not able to do it. They're always preparing for some, the energy that you put into making a contingency plan or, preparing for the person to do something to you, that's the energy you need to love someone. So while you're preparing for your partner to be cheated on you or to let you down, and you're preparing and putting all these things in place for that time, you're manifesting it. You're making it happen. You're building that reality. You're making it forward. Because all you got to be able to do to love someone is to let the bullshit go and to take a hold of them. Because that's what love is. That's all I wanted to say. And I'm going to share it. I don't give a fuck. I want her to know because this is coming from a place of genuine love. And I just know that it's happened. I'm not saying I judge or I think she's smart enough, and I think the time now is where something will happen. I think giving this is enough because it's given with the love. And if she sees and takes it seriously, it's not something she'll unsee, and she'll be able to do it, and it'll happen. And that's me leapfrogging for me to her to help her, not out of anger or meanness, but I've experienced this and I don't like it. It's horrible. It's the worst fucking thing you can have happen, but it's not her fault. It's not any of your fault if you have it. Some of you do. But if you take it seriously for it to be a thing and know that it came from somewhere and it has a purpose that they want it to do, then you might be able to fucking get it out of you and done with. That's all I want. Just want to share that message. If it means something to you, share it with somebody you care about. But if not, whatever. You know what I mean? Just take it seriously. There are people that really need us to look at things and to see when things are wrong. And when things are evil and bad and something's going on that's not right, don't be afraid to look. Don't be an asshole and be like, who's doing that? Nobody's doing that. Don't be that person. Because that person, straight up, they're a pussy. And they're afraid to look. They're afraid to see. Because they may find out at that point. And then you could trace and find it out. Follow the money. That's an easy one. That'll always lead you to fucking what the fuck's going on. There's simple things to do to find out where shit comes from. Dr. Zoyce, programmer. That's one of the doctors they had in their family that was always telling her fucked up MK Ultra shit. I'm sure the whole damn doctors they had them hooked into because the fucking dad in the military, the stepdad or whatever, Bangy. That piece of shit. That's a handler. He's a fucking handler. And he's okay with that program. He just thinks the Nazi shit that he's doing is American because he's fucking programmed too. Like an idiot. I'm just saying. Just because I experienced it, I'm just saying it. But it's not coming from a fucked up place. So take that shit seriously. Like, share, subscribe if you can. If not, whatever. But have a good day. Stay blessed.